Yeah, John, Christine, I wanted to do my best to really show you what that night was like for the people who didn't have the option to run away. Our first responders ran toward the danger. These paramedics worked for 10 hours straight, just caring and comforting people and trying to save lives. There's no doubt there would have been even more lives lost that night if it wasn't for them. This is never before seen video.
There's a shooting.
Yeah, apparently 30 or 40 people have been shot.
Holy sh**.
From inside an AMR Medic West ambulance. These two weren't assigned to the call.
Let's go.
That video was just 5 minutes after the shooting started.
Dispatch 130, we're available from Spring Valley.
That's our people. Let's go. Let's run to the danger, not away from the danger. Some of our personnel were taking patients before the shooting had even stopped, as an example.
Help us, please.
In less than an hour, we deployed, I believe it was 240 crews.
To 106 ambulances within about 45 minutes.
We must have passed 300-400 people going there.
Hundreds of first responders from AMR and Medic West rushed toward the strip.
We fully believed that the shooting was still going on and that victims were still happening, and we were driving towards it.
When I got out, he was actually still shooting.
Sherry Jones heard the gunfire. She was stationed at Tropicana Hotel.
One of my supervisors drives up and says, "We think we have a shooter up on the roof of the Tropicana. You need to get everybody indoors." I stood up on top of this table and I screamed, "Everybody get inside the Tropicana." There's a door right behind us. And we just started lifting people, trying to get people in.
That's when Sherry realized there were even more victims.
Went into a kitchen. There were just people. I had another person that was shot in the head. They got into the back of the house somehow, and there's literally 30 people in a kitchen, and everybody's pulling me, help me first, but it's just like, where do you go?
At other spots, it wasn't any easier.
You know, there's just waves and waves of people.
We probably saw 100+ patients that night.
You could hear the stress in their voice when they started coming across people.
People running everywhere.
People jumping on the ambulance, people threatening them if they don't take them to the hospital.
Madness.
240 people from AMR and Medic West cared for the hundreds shot.
We got several right up there.
And hundreds injured.
What do you, like, how do you comfort someone through that?
I had my intern hold her hand the whole way in. That was it.
In total, AMR and Medic West transported more than 200 people to local hospitals. When they think of that night, there's certain things they remember.
I remember driving down the east side of the strip, and it was just desolate. And you would still hear the casino machines. Ding, 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 ding.
Sometimes it's the people they helped.
We talk every day. You know, we follow each other on Instagram.
Others remember searching for people who needed help.
We would look, anybody laying on the ground, whether it was one of our homeless people or just anybody laying on the ground, we would stop. We found a shooting victim literally like 4 hours later.
For some, it's just a blur.
I don't remember half the stuff that happened. I don't remember saying the stuff that I did. I don't remember doing the stuff that I did. Like people running across the runway at McCarran. I don't remember that.
After talking to them, you can tell what happened that night shook them. There's a sadness, but also a sense of pride that they were there and made a difference that night.
We don't get in this job. I mean, the money's not great, but I'm not here for that.
And if you ask them, they say, God forbid it happens again, they'd still want to be there, saving as many lives as possible.
Drop isn't good enough right now.
Let's go.
Copy that, sir. I haven't
And Cal, who you heard from in the story, is now working on a new branch of AMR and Medic West that responds to tragedies like 1 October. He also created a special patch for those who responded to the tragedy. Paramedic Matthew Dryden is now teaching college students how to become first responders themselves. Critical care paramedic Sherry Jones won a national award and was honored in Washington, D.C. for her bravery and heroics that night. And in the story, Michael Gannon, who is the operations manager for AMR and Medic West, talked about how he had an intern hold the hand of one of the patients that they were transferring. That intern was brand new on 1 October. Michael told me he's so proud. That intern is now a paramedic. And Scott White, who's in charge of AMR and Medic West, is now working with hospitals to develop better plans for dropping patients off during emergencies. And Scott, he made the decision to cover every person's ambulance and the care they received that night so they could focus on healing and not worry about bills. Guys, back to you.